It's a collaboration of over 40 different organizations, agencies, and programs across the city of Toronto that work towards this very bold and ambitious objective of zero gun violence. Most of you in the room think I'm crazy because they don't think it's possible. But my response to you, to my wife, my mother, my friends, is that we already have zero gun violence in the city of Toronto. But it only exists in certain communities for certain people. So if they can have zero gun violence in Rosedale, why can't we have it in Rexdale? What's going on in Rosedale that is not going on in Rexdale? And what's going on in Rexdale that is not going on in Rosedale? Like, I'm not a rocket scientist, I'm not a brain surgeon, but if the city of Toronto, as resourceful as we are, cannot figure this out, we got a problem. Zero gun violence movement works across the city. Everybody that works with us are volunteers. Everybody that works with us have a full-time job doing something else. But they decide that they want to work with us towards this objective. The first slide I'm going to present to you is not to scare the shit, to scare you. It's to show you some numbers. Over the last 5 years in the city of Toronto, we've had 2,119 shootings. Victims, people being shot, 3,096. That's data from 2014 up to 2019, November the 9th. Homicides, 220. People have been buried due to gun violence. We got a problem because those numbers just are the tip of the iceberg. When we talk about trauma, for every one of those shootings, for every one of those victims, for every one of those homicides, you multiply it by 10. And you'll get the real information of what's going on. Zero gun violence movement works with mothers who have lost children to gun violence, but we also work with people that have been responsible for it. People that have done the crime, done the time, and want to make a difference. Our perspective on the gun violence problem is going to be different from somebody working in an office 9 to 5. On a daily basis, we will see the good, the bad, and the ugly in the city of Toronto. For us, visiting 3 different communities in one day is not unusual. It's normal. We go into communities and we work with the people as needed. Next one, please. When I talk about trauma, if there's a shooting in a school, a knifing in a school, a violent incident in a school at 9 o'clock in the morning, by 11 o'clock, 12 o'clock, we send in a trauma team because we understand the importance of dealing with trauma initially, quickly. When you throw a rock into a pond, you get a big splash and the ripples come out. But over a period of time, it subsides and the pond comes back to normal. When you're talking about gun violence and trauma, when you throw that rock into the pond, the ripples come out and they continue, and it will never come back to normal. And that's trauma affecting everybody, whether you like it or not. That picture was taken in 2017. It was a playground in Chesterlee, hot summer day, not one child there. Next one.
You'll have to wrap up. I apologize.
Yep. 2 years later, different part of the city, Lawrence Heights, another picture, playground, no children. Communities are traumatized. Children are traumatized, and you will never see them out having fun being children if we do not deal with it. So I give credit to the Toronto Board of Health for looking at it as a public health issue. I'm hoping that you can bring your resources and means to the table. This is Toronto. It has become a city of cities. And depending on what city you live will dictate your health and well-being. That's the reality. When a 15-year-old says he fears living more than he fears dying, how did that happen? That's trauma. It needs to be dealt with. You guys have opened the door. We will work with you to make sure that we do the right thing, because a lot of work is being done with no results. Please make sure that the work that you do is informed by correct data, because there's a lot of data out there that doesn't make any sense to us.
Okay.
Please, please, please invest in the correct use of the data. The report that was presented was a report on reports. Start thinking about getting some primary research where you actually speak to the people that are involved. I'm going to wrap up, sorry.
Thank you very much. Do we have any questions for Louis? Seeing none, thank you.